Well, folks, it won't be long now. What am I talking about? The once-in-a-lifetime release of the 50th anniversary collector's set of the Beatles' landmark album, most innovative pop album in history, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And you would think that everybody who loves the Beatles would be kind of excited and thrilled about it, wouldn't you? It's not really the case, but it's not really hard to believe because there's always going to be times, it's natural that some people say yay, some people say nay, and there are always going to be people that have desires that are not met, standards that are not reached, criticisms. And I'm going to tell you before I start that, generally speaking, I'm all for that. I'm very big on the idea that just because you like an artist, that doesn't mean you have to blindly praise everything that ever gets released about them, or that everything they say is gold. Everything they do is beyond criticism. I've never been like that, and I never will be. So I want you to know that right off the bat. I know there's people that are fans that are sycophants to the point where all they do is blindly praise everything unconditionally, which to me is just as bad as immediately going in there and criticizing everything as lousy before it even happens. So both sides of that are wrong and extreme, in my opinion. This video in particular is being made because I cannot understand why this particular release is being panned by a very few amount of fans. I think it's safe by now to say that the buzz for this is astronomical. It's off the charts. 99% of Beatles fans are absolutely elated about this upcoming release, and rightly so. Now, in the past, there's been releases that I haven't enjoyed, or that I thought thought they were milking the cash cow, as some people have charged with this Pepper release. Things like the Love Project that came out. Personally, I wasn't a big fan of those mashups. I know a lot of people liked them. I didn't like them. I didn't like how they took all those songs and mashed them around and played with them so extremely. So I did not really salute that particular album and the project. Although, the way that I deal with it is I tell myself, well, what it's like is a soundtrack album, right? And I can never pronounce this, to the Cirque du Soleil kind of show that was out there. It's basically a performance soundtrack of the event. So in that regard, I can let it go because it's like a play or something. It's not, per se, a brand new product. And I didn't really get crazy about the thing when they just recently reissued the Beatles 1 audio CD of #1 songs. And I like the fact that we got the Beatles videos, the promo films that went with these songs, but the audio and them screwing around with it a little bit wasn't too crazy about that. I'm only saying this as a disclaimer just to show you at the beginning that I'm not beyond criticizing myself, and I think it's a good thing. But now there are a couple of people here on YouTube that I'm kind of reacting to. They have videos up. One of them, and I apologize in advance to this guy because I could never know how to pronounce his last name. His name is Brian. His last name is Hussar, or Hussar, Hussar. And I'm going to try to put links to these guys' videos down here. Brian made a video recently, a very good video, where he was basically telling everybody, shut the hell up about complaining and whining about this release. And I thought it was so well said. I didn't really have anything to say myself. He said it all, and I really didn't feel the need to make my own video until now. The second person that I just noticed this morning was Larry Graves, who is better known on the internet as Canadian Stud Muffin. And his channel's a lot of fun. And he did a video where he was basically showing how a fan of the Beatles that left a comment on his site. And the name of the video was Cash Cow Beatles. A fan of the Beatles is angry. And this particular fan, the quote here, right from Larry's site, is, he asks the question, how many times are they going to milk us Beatles fans? How many times can some buy pepper? And then at the end he asks, and this is me reading his language, fucking $125? So he's bitching about the price, which I'll get into. And it's not just the price, though, in his case. What I'm more concerned about here is how he says, how many times are they going to milk us Beatles fans? How many times can we buy pepper? And the whole thing with it is, this is not milking pepper again and just selling us the same old crap again. This time, we're going to have an option to buy a 60 CD set that's going to have alternate takes and different mixes, things that we've never had before. Some of these session tapes are going to be things we've never heard, like a harder version of John Lennon's vocal for Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. The end of A Day in the Life, where instead of having the chord at the end, you're going to hear the Beatles all like hum at one time. Just certain things that, as of this point, have never been seen. So this is not the same old, getting Sgt. Pepper again with a different packaging and boosting the price up just to sell us the same shit, quote, over and over again, unquote. That's not the case here. There's always going to be a few bad apples that have to get in there. Sometimes the criticism of certain sets, I think, is well-founded. Sometimes, like this, I don't think anybody's got anything to complain about. And I really don't think there's any reason why anybody should be hemming and hawing over this. I mean, are you kidding me? And then we get into the matter of the price. A lot of people are bitching. Now, right now, as I speak, the price on Amazon.com in the U.S. is $125, which is, I think, discounted. I think a lot of times the prices here are $150 and up, which is a little more tough, obviously. I think in one place, Larry Graves mentioned, I think it might have been in Canada. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. He was saying that the price is $189 for this set. Now, there's a few things you have to remember here. First of all, in addition to the fact that, as I said, they're not selling us the same stuff over again. There's going to be a brand new state-of-the-art new mix in 5.1 and all kinds of special treatments for this particular album. It's not going to be the same old album. And in addition to that, you're going to get on the deluxe set 6 discs, which are going to be so the alternate sessions, some of them which we have had already, from what I'm hearing on the anthologies, but we don't know if they're going to be more full, because the anthologies used versions that were kind of like doctored up and like kind of like segued things, different takes together. Are we going to get full takes this time? We don't know that yet. I'm guessing it's going to be different from what we've had before, so it will be new. So we're getting that. Also going to have the different mixes, which is going to be nice, and they sound really great when you watch the trailer that's making the rounds, so we can hear some of the audio already. And you're going to be getting a DVD bonus that's going to have the promo films that kind of pertain to this era. You're going to have Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane, A Day in the Life. You're also going to have a wonderful documentary called The Making of Sgt. Pepper that was originally done for Disney in 1992, and it's got, back then, the surviving Beatles, Paul, George, and Ringo, and George Martin, and it's really a very good documentary. For those of you who haven't seen it, that's going to be available on Blu-ray and also a DVD. And we're also going to get nice alternate covers. Some of you may have seen them, some of you may not have seen. You're going to see alternate covers for the CD releases, the way they're packaged. You're going to see different positions and different ideas they had for the actual cover of Pepper. So you're going to get that. And also, you're going to get a giant book. Now, at the moment, I want to say it's 144 pages. Without double checking, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. But it's a huge book with photos in there from the sessions that you don't usually see. In other words, this is packed. So many times us Beatle fans have been complaining at the Beatles, the surviving Beatles, Paul, Ringo, and then Yoko Ono for John's estate, and Olivia Harrison for George's estate, and saying, why can't we get this or that? Why aren't we getting quality stuff? I mean, also a complaint that I've always heard is that a lot of times people feel like the product that's coming out from Beatles lately is being geared towards the mainstream, and they don't care about us diehard fans. There's nothing here for the diehards. Everything they put out is just for casual fans, mainstream. Well, this is a time, folks, when you got something that's actually here for us, the diehard fans. I mean, it's amazing to me. This is the best thing in recent memory that Apple has done right. This is a time where they actually seem to have gotten it correct. They've actually taken the time to cater to the real diehards, to make this 50th anniversary. It only comes along once. There'll never be another 50th anniversary, a once-in-a-lifetime thing. That is actually going to be something we can actually sink our teeth into and that we're really going to like. This is not the same old, same old. So there's no reason, in my opinion, for anybody to bitch and moan about the content of this. But of course, you still have those people that say, how come they didn't release Carnival of Light? If you don't know what Carnival of Light is, it's something that Paul McCartney was talking about several years ago. That's really just an experimental track, a lot of real noise and garbage from what I hear. Supposedly, it makes Revolution number 9 sound like yesterday, I guess. It's really something that if they released it, it could never live up to the hype, and it's not going to be anything sensational. People are bound to go, oh my God, this is what everybody was so excited about. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would like to see Carnival of Light released, but I'm not going to put the whole shebang on this project just to have something to complain about like people do. That's what they do. I've even had people saying, why isn't George Harrison's It's Only a Northern Song included on here as well, somewhere in the package? Because, I mean, after all, that was kind of like supposed to be on Sgt. Pepper originally. It's not. It's okay. You know what I mean? I mean, like I said at the beginning of this video, there's always things we can criticize that don't meet our expectations, our standards, or what we like, what we prefer. You could go on forever listing, well, this is good on this side, bad on that side. I have nothing against that, and I do it myself. But this is a one time where I figure, I can't believe they got this right as they did. And now let's talk a little bit about the money, okay? Here's the deal, folks, and it's something that I don't hear being mentioned very often, so I'm going to say it. You don't have to buy the 6 CD set, the deluxe box set with the book and all those discs. You can buy different formats. They're putting out just the regular album remaster if you want to buy the single disc edition. They're also putting out a 2 CD set and 2 LP set for those wanting the vinyl that are going to have the album and then also have the alternates. Now, I don't know at this point whether if you just buy the 2 CD set, you're going to get all of the alternates that are on the 6 CD set. And quite frankly, can I be honest with you? You shouldn't get it. If you're only buying the 2 disc set, you shouldn't get everything. You want this stuff? Pony up for the 6 CD set. DVD and CDs set. Right? $125 for what we're getting is not too much, in my opinion. It is in some people's opinions. But I have to ask these people, how much do you want to pay? Let's face it, you want something for nothing. We all do, right? Wouldn't it be great if the set was like $30? I don't think you're looking for it for free, but you wouldn't mind paying $25, $30, would you? $50 maybe, tops? Neither would I. Believe me, everybody's going to bitch about something. If they didn't do an anniversary edition here, and it was looking for a while like we weren't going to get one, that they weren't doing anything, they were very hush-hush about it. If they weren't doing anything, you people would be crying and whining about that too, saying, where's the anniversary? They let it go? How could they let it go? If all they did was give us the album again and nothing, no extras, you wouldn't like that either. I mean, for a while, due to one of the reports that came out prematurely, there was going to be some idea that maybe they were going to put only the Strawberry Fields Penny Lane single only tagged onto the album at the end or something, or maybe integrated in with the rest of the tracks, and people were not complaining about that, myself included in that case, and that was all we were going to get. I mean, what the heck kind of anniversary was that? So what do you want? Look, I'm not a rich man. I have a lot of stuff here, but it's not because I have the money for this stuff. I mean, I get it at a time as I can, or sometimes I go above my means. But the thing is, none of us, well, some of us are out there probably wealthy, but most of us are not wealthy. And you have to make a choice. If you're going to bitch about it, then buy the single CD or the double CD. But we know the reason why people like this guy on Canadian Stud Muffins site here is really complaining. Some of you out there really want the 6 CD set, and I can't see how you couldn't. The thing is, you're kind of pissed off that you got to come up with over $100 for it. Hey, that's tough. That's the way it is. You know what I mean? It's, you know, if it was $200, I think you got something there. That would be tough, $200. But if you get it on sale, you wait a little bit, you can get it for $120, $125. That's not that bad. You have to remember you're getting a whole package here. You're not just getting one disc or something, or two discs or something like that. And you know, a lot of people don't like hearing this either, but if you'd like to have it, but just you think it's too expensive right now and you can't just get it in one shot, save your money. Do it according to your means. Put $50 a month aside. You can get it after 2-3 months. Or if that's no good, save $20 a month. Whatever you can do. Maybe it'll take you a year to save up the money. Yeah, I know you want to have it fast. We all want it now, today, right away. I mean, that's how we are, especially these days in our society, right? Everything's now instant gratification. But we can't always have it. So in that case, if you're a person who's just moaning and complaining because you really want it bad, but you think it's too much money, all I could tell you in that case is save up or shut up. Okay, that's really how that goes. Now, that's about pretty much of that angle of it, but I'm going to just spend what remaining time I have here, just a few more minutes, talking about another aspect to this, that something that we haven't really touched on yet. Some people like to say, are there going to be other versions of the Beatles albums? If this Sgt. Pepper album does well, and I think it's going to, I'm going to put my, reputation on the line here, and I'm going to say it looks like what reputation? But I'm going to say it looks, by all appearances, that this is going to be quite a successful release, and everybody's clamoring for it, and it's really highly anticipated. It's going to do well. Some people are saying that maybe they should do the White Album next year if this does well, and so on. And then eventually we can do Abbey Road and whatever else. Some people are suggesting maybe even that you're going to be able to go back and you're going to see the early Beatles albums, like Please Please Me with the Beatles, A Hard Day's Night, Beatles for Sale, Help, Rubber Soul, Revolver, given this same treatment. A lot of people say, well, I don't know. Should it be given the same treatment? What if it doesn't sell that well? Let me put it this way to you folks, okay? I'm going to use just a couple of artists that I know that are big. Who are two other big artists that we know? Elvis Presley and Bob Dylan. Elvis Presley, for the last 40 years, this is going to be the 40th year this August of his passing. For 40 years, his company, RCA, talk about milking a cash cow, has been repackaging, but also doing new stuff, putting out new outtakes, different live versions, different recordings, and things like that for the 40 years that he's been gone. And Bob Dylan, we know Bob Dylan's company Columbia, has the Bob Dylan bootleg series. I don't know what volume they're up to now. Are they up to number 15 yet? They've got like 9, 10, 11 or more of these bootleg series where they put out different alternate takes and recordings and live performances and things. And do you think that Bob Dylan or Elvis Presley sell more than the Beatles? Put it this way, the Beatles would sell, if not more than Dylan or Elvis, certainly at least right there just as much as Dylan or Elvis, wouldn't you say? I would. That's what I can't understand. There's a difference when we're talking about Apple, the Beatles' Apple company, and talking about Columbia or RCA. But I think to wonder and ponder, gee, I don't know. Is it really worth the gamble to put the Beatles stuff, all of it, out in box sets? Is that a good idea? When you ponder that, you don't have to look any further than Elvis Presley and Bob Dylan and other people too. It's not just them. Frank Sinatra gets stuff, and he's even older than Elvis and the Beatles. I mean, in his earliest stuff in the 40s. So why should the Beatles be any different? Why should they be exceptions? I always like to have a scenario or an analogy. That's the word I'm looking for. An analogy to a baseball game. Some of these studios expect that every time they come up to bat, they want to hit a home run every time. Some of these, I think Sgt. Pepper is going to be a home run. But sometimes you just can hit a triple or a double or even a single. But that shouldn't mean that you struck out. I want to keep this about 20 minutes, so thanks everybody. Look forward to your comments.